Speaker?
Rock.
Hi.
Hi.
How many of you have experienced a time where you had to be the leader? Like maybe the captain of the soccer team?
Yeah.
So I think that most of you have experienced a time where you had to be the leader and you made several important decisions. And today I want you to think about what makes a good leader. So first thing, how many of you have read this book? This is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, and he's a famous lecturer. Anyone read this book? Well, apparently very few, right? What's written in here is, as the title says, how to motivate people and influence people. And Dale Carnegie says that if a person can achieve the techniques written in this book, that person can motivate anyone, or in other words, become a good leader. And I'll introduce the first three techniques that he describes in the book. And these are: 1, don't complain or criticize. 2, make honest and sincere comments about others. And 3, make them want to do something. And you can imagine that if a leader had these techniques, people will follow that person. But let's think about this for a moment. Is it that easy to follow these techniques? For example, how many of you are confident that you can spend a week without criticizing or complaining to your friends? It's few, right? Of course, if you can master these techniques, that's the best. But you should remember it as a final goal, because if it's your first time being the leader, or if you're becoming the leader for a short term, or if you became the leader for no big reason, there should be other points that you should follow rather than these techniques. So I spent a year being the leader or the president of the student council. And I had both good and bad experiences. And from these experiences, I found several key points to being a good leader. The first point is to be active. On the first day I became the president, the teacher told me that the president has to be the model student of this school. And of course, reflecting the actions I took during the term, I don't think I was a model student. And if these words are true, we can interpret that the leader needs confidence more than authority or power. And I believe that this is true in some ways. People working for the leader should be working on their own, rather than being ordered by the leader to work. But things don't go that well. Here, the leader needs to be active. And by saying active, I don't mean that the leader has to be good at sports or like going outside, etc., etc. By saying active, I mean that the leader has to be working with the people, not just sitting and making people work. As a president of the student council, I ran up and down the hallways, made many papers to be submitted to the committee, and have yelled at the other members to work. And people told me that the president's work is to just sit and make people work, not work on their own. But reflecting the year of my term, I think that I ran the most of the member of the student council. The leader
Trust?
To gain trust, the most important thing for a leader, the leader needs to be active and make actions on their own. If people working for the leader work without the leader saying anything, that's the best. But as I said, that's not likely to happen. The leader needs to be active because that's probably the best way to earn trust. The second key point is to be is lead. Of course, the leader has to lead, that's obvious. But either sitting on the chair and making people work or working on their own, the leader has to lead people to the right direction. And I also got this key point from my experience as a student in the student council. And in the student council, we make many papers and documents to be submitted to the, we make many papers and documents so that we can discuss among each other and in the central committee and among the teachers. And many of the papers were made by the other members, so my job was to check them all. And I checked the purpose, the discretion, and all other things written on there. And by making many revisions, I think that I was able to lead the student council to the right direction, which was to make this school a better place. So I've talked about the 2 key points to being a leader. And my opinion is that the leader has to be active and has the power to lead. And have trust, which can be earned from the first 2 key points. Of course, the image of the best leader should be something like Dale Carnegie said. Not complaining or criticizing, being able to give honest and sincere comments, and being able to motivate people. Still, these opinions are not yours. It's mine or it's Dale Carnegie's. And I believe that there are many types of leaders in this world. For example, does the factor that makes a captain of a soccer team a good leader apply to being a good student council leader? Absolutely not. The types of leader, the way you influence people, the way you lead people, the way you become a good leader differs at times. And I want you to find what the best leader is for you and for the others at the right time. Thank you very much.